Well, the bookies reckon Leicester already have a better than 90% chance of making it up in the wake of their dazzling start. Leeds slightly on the wrong side of 50-50, but they're improving all the time. A Foxes win tonight would take them 17 points clear of third place, over the hills and beyond the horizon. Now, no side is ever promoted in November, but if the Foxes do make it 14 wins from 15 games, it will be one of the biggest collapses in EFL history if they were to subsequently blow it. Here's a reminder of the two teams. Leicester in all blue, Hermansen in goal. A back four of Ricardo, Fass, Vestergaard and Justin. A midfield three of Cassidy, Winks and Dewsbury Hall. Fatau, Vardy and Mavididi, the front line. Leeds, Meslier in goal. Gray, Rodent, Strauch and Byram. Ampadu and Kamara. James, Peru and Somerville. And Ruta. And it will be Leeds in all white. Kicking from left to right in this first half. Who will get us underway? Just waiting for the signal from referee Dean Whitestone. We are underway. First against third. And what a belting atmosphere, what a belting game in prospect to kick off this latest weekend. Meslier in possession, just put under a little bit of pressure by Vardy on the edge of his own penalty area. Ball turned forward into space by Dan James. Mopped up, Vestergaard able to clear right-footed over the halfway line, where it's easily chested down by Joe Rodent and goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Leicester City left. I'm delighted to say that Lucy Ward, the former Leeds United striker, alongside me. We're expecting a game of immense quality. And certainly the stakes are high as well.
Yeah, and it started with a high intensity, good tempo to the game. We talked before the game, I think James Justin's playing at left back, Pereira is playing at right back, but when Leicester have got the ball, he's sort of in midfield and he goes alongside Harry Winks, and that's how they build, that's a structure to Leicester and how they play, and it's worked absolutely wonderfully for them this season.
And Yannick Vestergaard will bring the ball out from the back. What a resurgence he's had since Maresca came to the club. Just laid it back for his goalkeeper. It wasn't the best clearance by Hermansen. Bounced off Ruta, but to safety as far as Leicester are concerned. And then Cassidy hits a brisk back pass, but Hermansen's got all the time in the world to bring it under control. Only just walking towards the edge of his own penalty area. We're 90 seconds in here on TalkSport 2. It is Leicester 0, Leeds United 0. Leicester 9 wins in a row in the league. 10 would be a club record, and they would also be the first side since Bristol City 118 years ago to win 14 of their first 15 games in the second tier. But Leeds pressing and pressing well, having an opportunity inside the penalty area, and it's just wide. What a glorious chance for Joel Peru, and it all came from Leeds' intense press around the edge of the penalty area. They won the ball back. Peru had the opportunity to get it onto his left foot, but he's curved it wide.
So, Jim, what happens in this, and this is why we thought it was going to be exciting. So Leicester get the ball at the back and they try and bait the press. So they try and encourage Leeds to press. Now Leeds need no encouragement whatsoever to press, and a couple of times now they've nearly nicked the ball when the goalkeepers come out, when Vestergaard's come out and allowed a Leeds player, but they've got that many players forward that they win it, and they've won it again. Peru's got himself in, he should have probably scored.
And now Ruta is inside the penalty area. Sliding challenge comes in on him from Ricardo. Pereira stops him getting a shot in. Dewsbury Hall can't bring it away. Ampadu sorted that. James now has it on the right hand side of the penalty area, and he will try and beat his man. Justin stands firm, slides it clear. It's out for a throw that'll be taken down by the corner flag. What a start though from Leeds United. 3 gone 0-0.
8 players in the final third Leeds have, so they're putting a lot of pressure on Leicester. Leicester cannot quite get out. I'm sure Maresca will have looked and knew that Leeds were going to do this, so it's about where Leicester go when they win it back, but at the moment they haven't won it back yet.
Sam Byram in his second spell at the club, playing it for Chris Somerville on the Leeds United left. Now Glenn Kamara, the former Arsenal trainee, a man who really made his name with Rangers. Back for the Dutchman Strauch, the Leeds United captain. 4 from 17-year-old Archie Gray. Down towards Dan James. James turning, getting the ball away from Justin. trying to slide it down the line for the run of Gray, which wasn't quite forthcoming. Mavididi forced to go back towards his own corner flag, but he's done well to be able to bring it away, and he's flicked it off James. A little double ricochet, though, and it's a throw that will be taken on the Leeds United right, only about 12 yards from the corner flag.
Mavididi, he should have got rid of it a lot quicker there, because all he's done is encourage Leeds to press him high, and now Leeds have got a throw in.
Good start from Farkas men, 0-0, 4 gone here on TalkSport 2. Archie Gray in no hurry to take this throw. It's only because there are no real discernible options for him. It wasn't a deliberate attempt to run seconds off the clock. Has found Ampadu now. Joe Roden can bring it forward. One of the Welsh internationals in this lead side. Strauch to Kamara. Forward from him to Somerville. Somerville poking it back away from Jamie Vardy, whose interest was piqued for a moment. Now Gray will pick it up 6 or 7 yards inside his own half. And they go back for Roden, and Roden all the way back for Ilham Melier. A couple of FA Cup ties tonight, and we'll keep you up to date with the goals in both of those. Barnsley already leading Horsham, and the non-league side from Sussex by a goal to nil. Max Waters has scored that, but the shot could be on in Kent, where Sheppey lead Walsall 1-0. James bringing the ball forward. Kamara, the left-hand side of the penalty area. Straight back for Glenn Kamara, and the Finnish international to Sam Byram. Byram getting it onto his left foot, trying to deliver a cross which was blocked. Gets a second bite of the cherry. Poke forward towards Somerville now, and is a corner? No, not quite. Hermansson got a hand to it, and he's claiming that he kept it in. But the assistant referee on this near touchline, Lee Venamore, has put his flag up to indicate that it is a corner. The first of the night. Leeds will take it on their left, 0-0.
Yeah, Leicester have had absolutely no respite from Leeds, and I talked about the way to play against Leicester. You're either a bit ultra defensive or ultra aggressive, and Leeds are certainly going for the ultra aggressive, really high up the pitch, trying to win the ball back and complete control of possession.
Yeah, Leicester haven't been able to string anything together inside Leeds territory so far. Corner taken by Somerville is headed away. Camera will pick it up on the left-hand touchline, and under pressure from Vardy, he's won that particular battle, and then turns back away to find Ethan Ampadu. Ampadu, the Devonian-born Welsh international, plays it down to the right-hand side for James. James is level with the edge of the penalty area, but Mavididi is back defending with Justin behind him, and the two of them this time should be able to get it away. But Mavididi got a little bit lucky because Gray was on his toes straight away as he tried to turn. But it came off Archie Gray last out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Leicester left-hand side. All Leeds United through the opening 6.5 minutes, but 0-0.
Yeah, they're not moving it quick enough, Leicester. Mavididi, that's twice now where he's been really slow in terms of getting hold of the ball, and you've just got to move the ball quicker. And even if it means that you've got to turn Leeds around, because they've got players, Leicester, that can sort of chase, but at the moment they're just not having the possession because Leeds are that far up the pitch that they're winning the ball really, really high.
Steffi Mavididi, one of the summer signings, he came from Montpellier in a £5 million deal. He scored at Queen's Park Rangers last weekend. He's another former Arsenal trainee, so up against one of his old Emirates teammates in Glenn Kamara today. Leicester turning defence into attack very neatly. First chance for Harry Winks to get his foot on the ball in the midfield. He's still inside his own half of the centre circle, though. Play forward by Ricardo Pereira. Vardy will chip it back for the Belgian international fast with the tousled hair. Forward from him in towards Vardy. Just drops between the lines and spins it off with his right foot out towards Cesare Casadei, the young Italian on loan from Chelsea. The space on the Leicester left for Mavididi. Shot comes in from long distance, and he's easily blocked. Fatou it was with the effort. Dewsbury Hall recycling it in the midfield for Leicester. Goes back via Justin and Winks to Vestergaard, and Leicester now will force Leeds back inside their own half.
They're in the rhythm now, Jim, and you see that they're affecting the tempo now. They've changed the tempo, Leicester. They've got the ball, and now they're just trying to control things. They're used to having possession, so whether they're home or away, they usually control possession, and they're doing it at their own speed. But this is the first time in the game that they've managed to do it.
Now Winks has got his foot on the ball. And he's just indicating to his teammates to calm down. The ball out towards the right-hand side is on, though, for Ricardo Pereira. He has it. Left-footed ball chipped in. Mavididi coming round the back. It's a good defensive header by James. Stopped Mavididi getting an effort in on goal, but at the expense of a corner.
Tell you what, Dan James did really well there, because it's a little chip in on the right-hand side. Left foot. And Dan James just had to put his body in the way and just make sure Mavididi didn't get a free header.
Goalless. Hugely entertaining and intriguing opening 8 minutes. Keenan Dewsbury Hall, not too far short of 100 Leicester games behind him now. Left-footed away swinging corner, which is nodded down by Justin, but no Leicester player could get the second contact. Fatawu, the young Ghanaian, will be able to pick it up on the Leicester City right, and he plays it back for Fas. Fas has got Winks in support to his left-hand side. Most of the options in the central area are ahead of him, including Justin, who twice has the ball played into his feet and just goes back towards halfway, playing safely the way that he's facing. But after all that early possession for Leeds, it's now Leicester in the last couple of minutes, as Lucy was saying. They've been able to get their foot on the ball, able to calm things down, but now dictate for the first time.
So Leicester, it's two teams that are absolutely full of confidence playing at the top of the game. And I think it's been an exciting start, because Leeds were always going to come out and press high. Leicester have got themselves control, the wrestle control away from Leeds. Now it's how Leeds react, and when you're on top and you're away from home, you've got to score when you're on top. That's the only thing I'd say about Leeds.
They have lost as many as they've won away from home so far this season. Leeds beaten at Birmingham and Southampton and Stoke. Impressive wins at Ipswich and Norwich, particularly in the circumstances, having been 2-0 down, and they won at Millwall as well, where they got off to a really poor start in that game. And as soon as they got themselves on top, there was no looking back. Leicester, on the other hand, just the one defeat so far came here against Hull. Every other league game has been won. 13 out of 14 in the league so far. In those 14 games, they've conceded only 8 goals. Long ball over the top here from Ethan Ampadu. Some 50, 60 yards forward, and he's picked out Sam Byron. Byron pulling it back, looking for Somerville towards the edge of the penalty area. Well read by Ricardo Pereira and cleared. Then headed down through the midfield by Ampadu, and Leeds had their foot on the ball and a chance to win it back. 10 gone, 0-0. Archie Gray in possession. Back for Ampadu again, and Leeds will try and get themselves back into Leicester territory.
So Sam Byron's playing left back, and it's what Leeds play with, sort of an asymmetrical back four. So one of the full backs, and this time it's left back Sam Byron, and he's right on the front line, and he managed to get in behind Leicester with a little bit of a direct ball over the top, but he just couldn't get the pass across the box good enough. Now
they'll invite Archie Gray forward on the right hand side, and that's forced Justin to come back and clip it away. Well, it's been a great night for the two non-league sides in the FA Cup. I told you that Sheppey were leading Walsall, who are more than 90 places above them in the football pyramid. Horsham have just equalised at Barnsley with a goal from Shamir Fenelon, the one-time Crawley player. So it's Barnsley 1, Horsham 1, and Sheppey leading Walsall by a goal to nil here in the EFL. Big game in the Championship this weekend. Leicester 0, Leeds United 0. The Leeds win another corner, which they will take on their right-hand side, and it's James that will come across to take it. Got a couple of goals against Huddersfield last weekend. He's never been prolific in his Leeds career. He's still only scored 7 at a rate of about 1 every 8 games. But an opportunity for him to swing something in here. 6 in the penalty area in all white. Somerville at the near post, goes over his head towards Peru. It's cleared. Brought down and played out towards Kamara. Now Glenn Kamara sticking his foot on the ball. Back it goes for Somerville, and the former Feyenoord man finds Archie Gray. Gray with a shock of dark hair. Forward from him into the feet of Peru, to Ampadu, to Roden. And the two Welsh international teammates just exchange passes again before it's played out towards Strout. Strout, good ball, but Sam Byron just couldn't get there. Played down the inside left channel, down the side of Wout Vaas. Byron read it, but he just couldn't quite get there in time. Yeah, Leicester play quite a high line. They're trying to squeeze the pitch and just have the units quite close together, but high up the pitch. And that's a couple of times now that Leeds have leaned a little bit more direct, trying to get in behind that high line. And they got that again with Somerville. Sliding challenge comes in from Winks to steer it away. But Ampadu midway inside Leicester territory brings it forward. Kamara, Ampadu, back for Stroud. Leicester unbeaten in the last 4 meetings of these two sides. Leeds last win a 3-1 success here under Bielsa back in January 2021. Not too many played that day that played today. Ricardo Pereira can bring it away, and Fatawu will make further ground. He goes to ground, and the referee says play on. Yeah, they're just enjoying the ball. Leeds just trying to... The movement is very good. Peru is dropping. Naruto a little bit
further forward, and it's about what Leicester do when they win the ball back, and they've got further up the pitch now.
And Mavadini's got past Ruta, and now he'll take on James, and he's got it across the edge of the 6-yard box, too far ahead of Vardy, who was being well watched by Roden. That was a really good ball in from Mavadini, skidding along the edge of the 6, in front of the goalkeeper, behind the defenders, but no Leicester player there to get a touch.
I'm not sure where Jamie Vardy thought that Mavadini was going to put the ball there. That's all he could put it, just across the 6-yard box, and Vardy just didn't make the run. Right, he probably should have stayed centre. I think it took a little bit of a touch, but Vardy needed to be in there because that would have been a side foot home.
Well, it's amazing how deceptive statistics can be. 14 minutes gone, possession 50-50, one off-target attempt for each. It sounds like a stinker. It's anything but. So intriguing. What a tactical battle it is proving to be. Neither side quite able to stamp their mark on the game inside the opening 15 minutes here on TalkSport 2.
Well, you can see Leicester build with a 3. Pereira goes into the middle with Winks, and they just try and overload certain areas. Daniel Farke likes to protect central areas. You can see going back into a back 5 just to try to protect against the wingers of Leicester. So like you said, Jim, a real tactical battle.
Fatou playing it back through the midfield. Leicester maintaining possession. Casadei will find Yannick Vestergaard, who receives the ball, passes it to Justin, immediately indicates where the ball should go next. Mavadini has it on the left-hand touchline and will lay it back for Winks. Leicester building from deep again. Did lose here to Hull back in early September on a day when they had 21 shots, Leicester City. It's the only game they've lost. They only had the one on target, though. Conceded to a Liam Delap goal. They haven't conceded a goal on home turf since, and that's a record that is 451 minutes and counting, 7.5 hours.
So the 2-8s for Leicester, Dewsbury Hall, and I think it's Casadei as well, they're actually looked after by the full-backs of Leeds, and it means that the wide players of Leeds have to come back and look after the wingers, and that's how they're doing it. They're playing quite a high line. There's a lot of pressure on the ball from Leeds, so they know they're not going to be beaten over the top.
But they might get themselves into a problem, as just happened there potentially. But Archie Gray, you detailed it perfectly. He's keeping an eye on Dewsbury Hall, but then Mavadini outside him can double up, and if he pushes forward, that gives Dan James a problem, because otherwise Leeds are defending so mob-handedly they'll have 6 or 7 back. And for a moment, Gray found himself isolated with one Leicester player either side of him, but the ball was played in that direction, but not with enough quality. Vardy retreating from what he thought was an offside position. He was back onside by the time Mavadini played it, but Kamara won it, and he'll play it for Somerville. And Somerville will attack the edge of the penalty area here. Can't get himself into a shooting position initially. Still he goes, finds Ruta. Ruta onto his left foot. He can skid one towards goal, but didn't get the power. And it's an easy save by Mess Hermansen. It's 0-0.
It's good defending by Pereira. He kept it out, and as soon as Kamara wins the ball back there, Somerville's on his bike. He doesn't even look. He knows that he's going to get the ball into his path.
Now it's Leicester's turn to bring it forward. A lively Mavadini, who did the hard work and then drilled the ball straight at Dewsbury Hall. It clipped his heel. He did really well to field it and maintain possession for Leicester. Casadei will go back to halfway for Vestergaard. And then Ricardo Pereira in this inverted fullback position will link up the play and find Wout fast.
So Pereira comes inside now, but when Somerville receives it, because Somerville's receiving it in the area that's vacated by Pereira in that right back, then Pereira recovers very well. His recovery run is brilliant. Fast covers it, but then he gets in and tries to stop Somerville. It's quite really interesting to watch, and I know that Maresca will have expected this, so he knows. The thing he says about his team is patience, right? You don't have to go and score in the first minute, right? Figure out where we're going to get to, and I think that Leicester just starting to figure out the areas where they can hurt Leeds.
Well, still 0-0 with 17 minutes gone. Those are the thoughts of the former Leeds United striker Lucy Ward. And Ethan Ampadu's in possession. And they work it to his left for Pascal Struijk. Struijk onto his favoured left foot and rolling across the defensive line for Roden. Roden to James. And then James clipping one aerially over Somerville. Chase after it down towards the left-hand corner flag, and he's going to be there first ahead of Fatou. And knowing that he was going to get there, he just very briskly hit it with his right foot straight into his opponent and out for a throw that will be taken by the Leeds fullback Sam Byram down by the corner flag. 20% of the way through the game, and shots might be at a premium, but it's a brilliant watch. And now Ruta goes down inside the penalty area. All eyes on referee Whitestone. No penalty.
Yeah, Ruta can't believe it, but I think from where the referee was, he was in a good position, and basically he'd sort of driven into the box. Ruta, he was already falling over. I think it was Casadei just had a little bit of a nibble. You cannot have a little nibble. I think he was on his way down. I think that's the reason why the referee didn't give it. And obviously we don't have VAR here, thank God.
Well, the reaction from Jorginho Ruta was like a petulant 8-year-old who's just been told that he's got to come in and do his homework. Just turned over, lying face down on the floor, smacking the ground with both hands. Very nearly won it back from Hermansen there as the Leicester City goalkeeper wanted to play out. Strauch steps up and gets it away from Fatawu. Ruta has just come back from an offside position as he links that up with Somerville. And it's a free kick that'll be taken by Leicester towards the halfway line.
Tell you what, we've talked a lot about the attacking prowess when each team regains possession, but I tell you what, the recovery of players, particular players that are not defensively minded for both teams. So when the opposition win it back, you've got the wide players for both teams getting back and defending, and that is key to both these managers.
Walsall have an equaliser in their FA Cup tie at Sheppey. Douglas James Taylor turning it round at or making it 1-1, I beg your pardon. So Sheppey 1, Walsall 1. Well, we got live FA Cup action for you tomorrow here on TalkSport 2. One of the ties of the round, the FA Cup first round, as informed Bromley near the top of the National League take on a Blackpool side who've been shipping goals for fun over the last week or so. Bromley Blackpool 5:45 here on TalkSport 2 tomorrow. 20 minutes gone. Leicester 0, Leeds United 0.
Jim, look, the wide players for Leicester, Mavadidi and Fatawu, they are both holding the width. They basically stood on the touchline. They're really wide as possible so they can spread. They're trying to spread the pitch. They're trying to drag Leeds wide so they can create a little bit of space for the likes of Dewsbury Hall and Casadei.
Mavadidi has it now. Now he knew that Fatawu would be out on the touchline, and he tried to hit a long aerial to him. Sam Byram headed it away. Somerville will take on fast, and couldn't quite get inside the penalty area. Pereira there with a last-ditch challenge, won it cleanly, and it was an absolutely essential piece of defending. Ampadu back for Leeds inside the centre circle for Joe Roden. Midway through the first half and still 0-0. Strauch. Leeds now with the majority of possession, 60-40 in their favour. Glenn Kamara bringing it forward to the feet of Somerville. Had no room to work with, and Fatawu can bring it away. He's then brought down by the retreating Byram, who will be called over by the referee. There was a touch on the cynical side. He knew the danger of letting the young winger get in behind him. And Dean Whitestone will call Sam Byram over, but I think it's going to be a lecture rather than a yellow card. Yeah, I think that's the last one. I think Sam Byram probably had to do that. I mean, he's really high up the pitch from that left-back position. Fatawu got the ball and he was on his bike and he just got dragged back. I mean, you probably expect a yellow card, but I don't think the referee wants to disrupt this game. There are 4 Leicester players in the starting lineup, incidentally, on yellow cards, who will be suspended if they were cautioned tonight and miss the next game, which is Middlesbrough away. That's Winks, Fatawu, Dewsbury Hall and Ricardo Pereira. They're all walking the yellow card tightrope tonight. Here's Vestergaard for Leicester. Nobody from Leeds in that boat. Fast, out towards the right-hand touchline. Fatawu, left-footed, crossfield ball, and it earns a generous round of applause as it sits up nicely for Mavadidi on the other side of the pitch. He controls it on the Leicester City left, the near touchline as we look at it. Positioned quite high up, just inside the half that Leeds are defending in this first period. Winks caught there by Ampadu. No advantage, takes the free kick, takes it intelligently, finds Keenan Dewsbury Hall, urged to shoot, pops it off to his right, so does Casadei. Fatawu, fought away inside the penalty area, he's gone very deep. Mavadidi can control it, bring it down, Winks chipping it back in, and it falls for Casadei, but he couldn't quite get there. And Strauch shepherds it back to his goalkeeper. Yeah, a bit of desperate defending from Leeds. Casadei had it was his little knockout wide for Fatawu, just allowed him to get the ball into the area, but it just didn't fall. Casadei
I think Leeds that was a let-off, but there's not been a real clear-cut chance as far as Leicester are concerned.
Strout's got it at the back for Leeds, who won 5 of the last 7 after only 2 of the first 7. All 3 defeats that they've had have come on the road, unbeaten at Ellen Road. As we've mentioned a couple of times, they are the only team to have beaten Ipswich in the league. Just 10 wins in the league in 2023. 3 of them for Javi Gracia, 7 for Daniel Farke, none for Jesse Marshall, Big Sam. As the ball comes inside the Leicester penalty area, and flying defensive header from Fatawu concedes a corner. He came back, sensed that Somerville, having dropped off to the edge of the penalty area, might be able to get himself into a shooting position. So forced to go for that, acrobatically heads it away, and out for another Leeds United corner, 0-0.
I think Pereira's defended really, really well and just helped out by Fatawu.
So this corner will be taken on the Leeds United left. It'll be a right-footed in-swinger from Somerville. Peru standing at the near post with Ruta, punched away by Manson. And outside the penalty area where it'll be fielded by James. James taking it down towards the right-hand touchline, goes back to halfway for Gray as Horsham take the lead from the penalty spot at Barnsley in the FA Cup. Barnsley 1, Horsham 2, which would be a monumental shock if it stays that way. Approaching half-time at Oakwell. Here's Somerville for Leeds. Cutting inside onto his right foot, but his effort was blocked. Spins out of the touchline. Fatawu put under pressure by Glenn Kamara. He's able to work it back inside. Leeds, though, win it back straight away as Ampadu intercepts a crossfield ball. Everything gravitating towards Somerville on the Leeds left. Byram looking for him this time, but he missed him. And Leicester will be able to bring it away, Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, this game so far has been all about regains of possession. And Leeds have been far better with what they do with the ball when they win it back. Everybody knows, and most of the time they've won it back in Leicester's half. So that gives you a better chance of getting a shot on goal or getting it yourself in front of goal. They know exactly what they're going to do when they win it. Usually goes left-hand side to Somerville or Byron, whoever's the furthest forward on that left-hand side. But it's certainly all about what you do with it when you win it back.
Well, Sam Byram got away with a ball challenge a couple of minutes ago. He didn't get away with another one, and he's been booked. Just fouling Fatawu, and he's the first player to have his name taken. Second yellow card of the season for Sam Byram, who rejoined the club in the summer from Norwich. Vestergaard just playing the ball forward towards Jamie Vardy, controlling it inside the centre circle. Vardy coming into this without a goal in 5 after a really good run before that of 5 in 8. Fatawu, he's seeing plenty of it at the moment as well. Bottom right-hand corner of the penalty area. Faced up by Byram. It's beaten him. Plays it back in. Strauch on the slide. And then it's cleared by Byram, who does the rest and gets it towards halfway. And Fast will let it bounce on the touchline. Watches it over the line past Ruta. And out for a throw that will be taken quickly by Leicester. Yeah, ball never out of play for long. Both playing at a really good tempo.
You're right, yeah. And Leicester are putting good ball into the box, but there's only really Jamie Vardy in there, and there's about 4 or 5 Leeds bodies, so it's going to have to be a really good ball and a really good finish for them to score. So they need to commit the 8s in there. Dewsbury Hall and Casadei need to get themselves in there as well.
Probably a more natural part of Dewsbury Hall's game than the Italians, I guess. Here's Mavadidi on the left-hand touchline. Working it short into the feet of James Justin. Justin, one-time England international, getting the ball back. In fact, there are 7 internationals in this starting lineup for Leicester, including this man, Yannick Vestergaard, who sprays it out towards Fatawu, controlling it on the right flank. Brought in field to Ricardo Pereira. He's won 7 caps for Portugal. Now Harry Winks has won 10 for England. And he will drive forward. He's claiming, possibly with some justification, he was pulled back there by Ruta. Ruta and Strauch defending, and then Ruta is able to play it forward for Somerville. Somerville trying to take on Fast, just knocked it into him. And the Belgian could mop up with the aid of his goalkeeper, and Leicester will be able to turn and bring it away again. A better 0-0 you couldn't really wish to see, but it is still goalless as we approach the half-hour mark on TalkSport 2.
Daniel Farke always looks at the stats, the expected goal stats, so how many good quality chances his team Leeds create, but they don't have that clinical finish. And you know, when you're playing in a game like this, it's right on the edge, but you're getting in good positions. You have to score in those situations.
Dewsbury Hall bringing it forward. away from Vardy. He's found Fatawu again, onto his left foot, edge of the penalty area, checks, still can't get himself into a shooting position. So links up with Cassidy. XG at the moment, Leicester's only 0.05, Leeds 0.23. So 0-0 is right. The ball played over the top, Mavididi chasing it, and Gray's defended it well. Just forced Mavididi to run out of room, and it goes out for a goal kick that Illan Meslier will take.
Tell you what, Leeds defend the edge of the box very, very well, whether it's crosses from wide areas or whether it's central, just trying to sort of fiddle a ball through the edge of the area. They're certainly there in numbers, compact. I think that the two central midfielders, Ampadu and Kamara, are doing very, very good work when they've not got the ball, as well as when they do have the ball.
Stroud takes the goal kick, plays it back for Illan Meslier, and we welcome listeners from TalkSport. The big game in the Championship, the news, it's 0-0 with 29 minutes gone, and chances have been at a premium, but it's been such a good watch. High ball inside the Leicester penalty area from Dan James, goes past Somerville. Hasn't really been an opportunity on either goal of note. We've only had the one shot on target, which was a scuffed effort from Jorginho Ruta, and that was easily saved. But as a tactical battle, it really has been a magnificent watch, and half an hour has flown by in the company of the former Leeds striker Lucy Ward. Lucy?
Yeah, I think between both boxes it's been brilliant to watch. It's been high intensity, it's been aggressive. I think Leeds have won the ball high up the pitch, but there's just been a little bit of a lack of quality when the ball goes into the box. From both teams, Leeds have had more chances, but they haven't had the clinical edge. Leicester put balls into the box, but Leeds have defended well. But in between the two boxes, it's been absolutely wonderful to watch.
And we welcome listeners from TalkSport. It is 0-0 between Leicester and Leeds, with James Justin in possession here for Leicester. A game in which we've seen very few clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities, but that makes it sound as though it's been a bit of a damp squib, bearing in mind its billing. Nothing could be further from the truth. Just the one effort on target, as I mentioned, Jorginho Ruta, with an effort that Messa Manson in the Leicester goal could save very comfortably, but neither side able to really get a stranglehold of the game, despite the fact that Leeds have had the majority of possession. If you've got the TalkSport app, you can easily swipe between TalkSport and TalkSport 2 to keep abreast of all of the action. And our live coverage continues with the former Leeds striker Lucy Ward alongside me, Jim Proudfoot. It is 0-0, 31 gone. As Mavididi gets inside the area, and it was deflected by Roden into the hands of his goalkeeper, Illan Meslier.
Yeah, he did really well again. Mavididi's had a lot more of the ball. That's where the space is for Leicester to attack Leeds, because Leeds stay quite narrow in the defensive. They block central progression, and so that you've got to get the ball wide, and that's exactly what they did there. Mavididi running into the box, but it's just that, again, that final. But we haven't really seen that much quality with the final ball into the box. If we did, it'd probably be about 3-3.
Well, it felt like a game that was going to be very high scoring, but so far both sides have largely cancelled each other out. Vestergaard just outside his own penalty area, forward towards Jamie Vardy, who's now scored 175 goals for Leicester City. So his 12th season with the club now. Winks down for Mavididi. Mavididi turning it down the line. Dewsbury Hall just pushed to the ground there by Ampadu, and the referee said no, it was a fair challenge. He went shoulder to shoulder with him, but looked like a foul to me.
That's a foul. I'll tell you what, Dewsbury Hall's touch to take it in front of Ampadu was unbelievable.
Leeds then try and set up a quick counter-attack themselves, and it goes through for the Leicester goalkeeper. Well, I think the boos are justified. Certainly from here, you and I both felt as though it was a challenge. I was expecting it to be a yellow card offence as well from Ampadu.
Yeah, I mean, Dewsbury Hall had just made the spring forward in that inside channel, took a touch, it took it completely away from Ampadu. It was out of Ampadu's reach, and he brought Dewsbury Hall down, and the referee just said that there was nothing in it.
Manson playing it out towards Wout Faes on the Leicester right, into the feet of Jamie Vardy. Leicester starting the night on 39 points from 14. Leeds 25 from 14 in third place, with Ipswich 34 from 13 in between the pair of them. Another cross comes inside that Leeds penalty area, which is brought down by Mavididi. Mavididi with tricky feet getting towards the byline. Gray does really well. I know he's not a fullback, but he's such an outstanding young footballer that he just looks as though he's been playing there all his life.
Yeah, he's not a fullback, he's a footballer, like you say, Jim, and it's just about standing up and just making sure you try not to fall for the movement, the quick feet. And he's been a tough competitor to play against, Mavididi, but he's done well, great.
The latest member of the Grey footballing dynasty. His grandfather played in the East Midlands, won the European Cup in the East Midlands with Nottingham Forest, although will always be more associated himself with being a Leeds player. Frankie. Here's James Justin. Playing it back for Vestergaard. It's still 0-0. 11 to go to half-time here on TalkSport 2. Brilliant from Fatawu. Receiving the ball, flicking it up over Byram's head, running past him, driving it in, and he's hit the bar. That would have been a goal of the highest order. Really high tariff move, that. And now Leeds United will try and break after a let-off at one end, and Somerville trying to get in. Fast with a sliding challenge, won it cleanly. Brilliant. And gets it back to his goalkeeper. Wow, what a moment. Sensational play from Fatawu. First the control, then working it on to his left foot, firing it past the goalkeeper off the bar, and Daniel Farke is absolutely adamant that that should have been a penalty at the other end, that his man was brought down by Fast.
Yeah, I mean, that was brilliance at both ends. No, Fatawu at the right-hand side for Leicester, did all his work, left foot shot, hit the bar, and then when the crowd are going, woo, that's when Leeds hit, and they get themselves forward in numbers. Great ball in to Somerville, and I tell you what Fast, what a brilliant piece of it. He was so determined to get a foot on that and stop a shot on goal from Somerville, and that's what and again, we talk about recovery runs from both teams have been very good, particularly Leicester. Okay, they know that they're playing quite high, they know that they leave themselves quite lean at the back, but the recovery runs and the intelligence that the defenders have got to cut off passing lines like that, unbelievable.
Well, feel for the fourth official, Stephen Martin. He's getting from both sides at the moment, but Daniel Farke was irate. He still is. He's chuntering away. So he feels as though that was a foul, and you would have to imagine that somebody on the bench saw it.
Yeah. Straight
away, the way in which he was in the ear of the fourth official and in his face, and he's still having a go at him as well. He's absolutely convinced that should have been a penalty to Leeds United. It wasn't given. It's 0-0 with 9 to go to half-time.
Yeah, we haven't seen the replay on our monitor yet, Jim, and obviously it was a last-ditch physical challenge, but it looked like a slide in from Fast, and it didn't look to me, first glance, that it was an obvious penalty, and but obviously Daniel Farke thinks different.
Well, Vardy just made one of his trademark runs straight through the middle, isolated against Strauch, but the quality of the ball from Justin wasn't good enough to find him. Leicester get it back and work it back for the goalkeeper. Winks turning in possession in a dangerous area on the edge of his own box under pressure from Peru. Leeds haven't really been able to get Joel Peru into the game as much as they would have liked, Lucy.
No, they haven't. I think it does blow hot and cold. I think that he's a finisher, but I think that he just finds himself in a position where he's not quite he's comfortable within this team, but I don't think he's comfortable in the position that he's playing. But because he's part of a successful team that are playing well, I think that just watching it on the monitor. I mean, he went down Somerville. He took it on his chest, and I think it was a pull back from Pereira that was the problem. I don't know whether that was in the box. That's the problem that you've got.
Well, the contact on the edge of the penalty area was slight, to say the least. It probably was enough to knock Somerville off balance and out of his stride, and that enabled Fast to be able to come back and make the challenge to get it away.
And then, you know what, and then the strike, I mean, Somerville doesn't want to go down because he thinks he's going to score. I think he's going to get a shot on goal, and when you don't go down, you don't tend to get those sort of decisions, do you? And I'm not sure whether it's just outside the box, the pullback as well.
Well, Daniel Farke's moaning and groaning has earned him a yellow card. He's just been booked. That was the ironic cheers that you heard from the Leicester faithful around us. Sam Byram in the book, his manager in the book as well. Byram in possession here for Leeds. Here's Glenn Kamara. Cassidy battling with him and fouling Kamara. And the Finnish international has won a free kick inside his own half. 7 to go to half-time.
I think it's pretty notable that the speed in which Leeds play is a little bit quicker than the speed in which Leicester play, and I think that's all about having control. Maresca is all about his teams having control, and the way that they control games is through possession. they're trying their best out of possession to control it, but in possession, they're quite measured, and it's just about choosing the right moment forward, where Leeds are all blood and thunder.
The young Portuguese striker Fabio Giallo has equalised for Barnsley on the stroke of half-time in their FA Cup tie. Barnsley 2, Horsham 2. Half-time at Oakwell in the FA Cup first round. Sheffield United 1, Walsall 1. The half-time score down in Kent in their FA Cup tie. A reminder that Bromley-Blackpool is at 5:45 tomorrow from the first round. One of the pick of the ties in this first round. That's here on TalkSport 2 at 5:45. A couple of Premier League games for you tomorrow of real significance. Fulham taking on Crisis Club Manchester United. 12:30 kickoff on game day exclusive over on TalkSport. And then here on TalkSport 2, Bournemouth, who played well in defeating the League Cup during the week against Liverpool, and who recorded their first Premier League win of the season last weekend. They're at Manchester City. Good luck with that. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff on TalkSport 2 tomorrow afternoon.
Tell you what, Leeds' press is forcing Leicester into mistakes, players that don't normally make mistakes. Then when you force into mistakes, like a pass out of the ground, so it's a throw-in, and it just puts pressure on Leicester.
And Leeds have got to throw him as a result of this latest press, which Gray has taken. Goes inside the penalty area. It's off the shoulder of Peru and out of play for a goal kick that'll be taken way to our right-hand side by Hermansen. Just going back to Peru, what you were saying, he's playing at 10 behind Ruta. He had all his success at Swansea playing at 9, 22 and 19 league goals in the last 2 seasons, but in this slightly more withdrawn role, the goal tally has dried up. Coming into this, he's only scored 1 in his last 6 games, which came against Bristol City, and that's behind a striker who himself hasn't been scoring goals. Ruta just the 2 so far.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Farke, I think he answered a press conference question about this, and he talked for about 10 minutes about why he doesn't play Peru as the 9, because his expectations of a 9 is different to what Swansea's were when he played as a 9 there. But you can't help but think that they need someone clinical in the box, and I'm not. Ruta's definitely not clinical, but Peru is clinical. So that's the combination between those two. They need to make sure that the right one arrives in the box at the right time.
All about making third man runs, and from that point of view, Leicester are able to bring it away and get inside Leeds territory again. And here's Stefik Mabadidi running at the bottom left-hand corner of the box into the feet of Dewsbury Hall. Clip ball back over the top of Gray. Second phase of play sees Leicester chip it inside the penalty area, and again Leeds have repelled the threat. Comes back out for Winks. Winks to the edge of the area, and a left-footed shot from Fatou goes sailing over the bar and out of play.
They're getting a bit frustrated, Leicester, because the way that Leeds are defending the box is excellent. So you have to move the ball quicker to get in behind, or you have to take shots that are on target. That one wasn't, and make Leeds defend differently, make them come out and block, and that's when the spaces appear. You have to do things differently on the edge of the box, because Leeds are quite happy defending there.
Fatou, the closest to scoring from either team, still only 19. They've got a £12 million option to sign him from Sporting Lisbon next summer. You would imagine they might take it up. Leicester have it with Mabadidi on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Gets towards the byline, almost ran out of room. He's pulled it back over Vardy's head. Fatou's control. Having just given him the big build-up, he stumbled. And all he could do was stop the ball, and that's the catalyst for another Leeds counter-attack. Somerville bringing it forward. Ruta making a run ahead of him, but Fast is there. And Fast can just make sure the ball ends up in the hands of his goalkeeper. Yeah,
that's where Leeds are most dangerous, where all the Leicester fans are looking, we nearly scored then, and by the time they've sort of opened their eyes again, Leeds are at the other end of the pitch, because Somerville really gets hold of the ball, just runs. He's such a strong runner with the ball, and again it arrives at Ruta, and if I say it doesn't look like he'll score if they all went off, he'll probably score the next goal, but that's exactly what it looks like.
Well, he's the number 9 that they signed for £36 million. You would want him not to look like a player who would struggle to score goals for £36 million. And the transfer market is ever inflated, and I guess I'm showing my age in sort of having a sharp intake of breath at that kind of fee, but 2 goals in 14 games at a level below where they signed him. But he's certainly game. He's playing well at the moment, and it's just that the goals aren't coming. Everything else has been pretty much spot on for Jorginho Ruta in the last 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, I think he plays a real part in when Leeds get back possession of the ball and get up the pitch quick. I think they've been aiming at Somerville all this first half, but he has been involved in, particularly at the weekend against Huddersfield. Huddersfield are nowhere near as good as Leicester, so it's always going to be a different proposition tonight.
Ethan Ampadu's got possession, and he's played it back to his goalkeeper. And it's cleared, left-footed, by Illan Meslier, out towards the far touchline, the Leeds United left, headed away before it got to Somerville, and out for a throw. By the time it's taken, we'll probably be just about in the last minute of the first half here on TalkSport 2 at the King Power Stadium on a fine night. There's still plenty of rain around in England today, but not too much of it in the East Midlands. It's been a very pleasant day. Somerville trying to get it forward, knocked away by Ricardo Pereira. Brought down by Archie Gray. Out to Dan James on the Leeds United right. Infield from him. Kamara right in the challenge of Winks, who fouled him. Referee might have a look at that in a moment. Kamara able to bring it forward, though, finding Ethan Ampadu. Ampadu with a right-footed shot. Goalkeeper dive, went well wide. And out of play for a goal kick, and it's going to be 0-0 going into first half stoppage time. Yeah, Kamara did well there. It's an experienced centre midfielder. The ball came into him. His first touch is just out of his feet, and he manages to get away. But again, it's it's a shot from Ampadu at the edge of the area. It's nowhere near really going in, and I think that is all we're missing in this game. This game has everything apart from a finish. Ampadu, not necessarily the man they wanted that to fall to on the edge of the penalty area. He's never scored in English football, just the one goal in his time in Italy. So 1 in 147 club games in his career coming into tonight. James Justin with the ball. We're in 1 minute of added time. Harry Winks trying to pick it up in the midfield, but Kamara's won it. He's done well in there, Glenn Kamara. Now James, Ruta ahead of him. James trying to get inside the penalty area, goes to ground. A combination of a little bit of a shoulder barge from Mavididi and a stumble over the ball, and it's out of play for a goal kick which Hermansen will take. Yeah, Mavididi again, he gets back and just helps his left back to defend against Dan James, and just enough pressure on Dan James for it to go out for a goal kick. Vestergaard taking the goal kick, finding his goalkeeper in all black, out towards Fars. Fars just flighting it forward towards halfway for the retreating Jamie Vardy. Winks loses out to an awkward bounce in the midfield. Ruta helping it on. Somerville offside on the left-hand side of the penalty area, and that will just about take us through to half-time. Daniel Farker's right back down the tunnel. He thinks that was a half-time whistle. It is the half-time whistle now. Well, that has not been 45 minutes that we anticipated necessarily. The spectacle, though, has been every bit as good. Not goal-laden, hardly a chance worthy of the name. Just that flashpoint of 30 seconds at either end with the effort from Fatawu that came back off the bar, and then Somerville going down in a combination challenge between Ricardo Pereira and Wout Faes that Leeds thought should have been a penalty. All to play for. Half-time, Leicester 0, Leeds 0. And this is how they line up. Leicester, Hermansen in goal. Ricardo, Faes, Vestergaard and Justin. Cassidy, Winks and Dewsbury Hall. Fatawu hit the bar, Vardy and Mavididi. Leeds, Meslier in goal. Gray, Roden, Strauch and Byram. Ampadu and Kamara. James, Perot and Somerville. And Ruta up front. Referee Dean Whitestone has booked Byram. He's also cautioned Daniel Farker, the Leeds manager, for his complaints about the non-award of a penalty in that first half, where clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities really were few and far between. But such an engaging spectacle. More of the same, hopefully, in the second half, which is underway. Leicester in all blue, Leeds in all white, and Leicester kicked from left to right in this second period. The ball back for Hermansen, and the Dane playing it through towards Vardy, whose control was a little awkward. He flicked it with his right boot into his knee, and then as it was played down towards Cassidy, Strauch stepped up a long way from the defensive line to win it back. And Leeds on the front foot right at the start of this second half with Somerville, Strauch, referee taking evasive action as Somerville lays it down the line for Byram. That stayed in, and Byram on the left-hand touchline will try and find a way through. Leeds win it back again with Kamara. Somerville taking it towards the corner of the penalty area, forced back by a wave of blue pressure. But Kamara is able to pick it up as Ampadu chips it into his path. And he goes back for Ethan Ampadu again. 20 yards outside the penalty area. On his right foot, clever little reverse ball. Byram didn't read it. Peru couldn't get there. And Dewsbury Hall will try and bring it away now for Leicester in the face of more ravaging Leeds pressure inside that final third. Remember, they've had more high turnovers than any other team. It's been easy to see why. They've illustrated it perfectly throughout the course of the night. They can't win it back here. Leicester will play it out from the back, and we're 90 seconds into the second half, and it's still 0-0. Lucy Ward.
Yeah, I think from Leicester, what I'd like to see a little bit more, being a bit more direct. Right, you've got Jamie Vardy on the pitch, so sometimes, rather than measured build-up, why can't you get him over the top? Because he's quite willing to run the channels and stretch the defence.
Now Somerville bringing it forward again towards the edge of the penalty area. Good movement to his left from Peru. That's taken the deflection, but was kept in after it hit Vestergaard by the goalkeeper. Dive down, got his hand on the ball on the line to indicate that it stayed in. No corner, and now Leeds will bring it forward. Mavadidi stopped in his tracks by Kamara. Fatu again in space on the Leicester right, and that's the pass that has been played to him by Harry Winks. Cassidy making a good run ahead of him. Clipped inside the area, chested down, and then cleared by Strauch. Out again as far as Winks. Still 0-0 somehow.
Yeah, I mean, what you don't want to happen in this game is it to end up 10 passes a goal. We need something at the end of both of these teams. They've both had good periods of possession, but we haven't really had the quality in front of goal from either team. You know, at least haven't got a natural goal scorer. Against worse teams, they can make up for it, but this is a good team, a good Leicester team.
They've got it inside the penalty area again. Leicester, Fatu driving it in. Well repelled by the Leeds back line. Out for another throw that'll be taken on the Leicester right. They're making slow progress up the touchline. Looking, remember, for a 10th straight league win. An 8th win in their last 9 games in all competitions. It would be a club record if they can get a victory tonight, breaking the run of 9 that they had just relatively recently in that last spell in the Premier League. Not in the title-winning season, but a couple of years after that. The ball's gone out here. It's a throw which will be taken on the Leeds left.
It's interesting, Sam Byram's on a yellow card, and you talked about it in the first half, Jim. It may be a problem for Leeds. I think he's quite an accomplished defender, Sam, but he's really at risk for making a challenge that's another yellow card.
Ross Tierney's just got a third for Walsall, who've had a bit of a scare tonight, but lead 3-1 at Sheppey now. As Peru loses out, but he was fouled, and it's a free kick that Leeds will take 15 yards outside their own penalty area. 4 gone in the second half. Now we're almost at the point of the game from which Leicester don't concede a goal. They haven't conceded a goal all season in the league from the 53rd minute onwards, which is just an extraordinary record, and Leeds just 4 minutes short of that now. Yeah,
I mean, they obviously come onto a game, Leicester, you know, that they get control, and the control is just wearing teams down. I think that's what they do. They found it a little bit difficult against Leeds, but I think the passing past Leeds' press better after the opening sort of 20 minutes or so.
Oh, that's a good through ball. Somerville trying to get it into his stride, couldn't quite. And he had a couple of attempts at controlling a ball that was in slightly behind him. And the fact that he needed 2 attempts just allowed Ricardo Pereira the chance to come back and nick it back off his toes. Maresca patrolling the edge of his technical area. And just pointing, giving instructions. Leicester on the front foot again. You get this flurry of play around the midfield area. And then very quickly it'll break one way. And as soon as it goes one way, inevitably, it very quickly goes the other on the counter-attack. And Leeds trying to illustrate that here with Dan James chipping it over the top for the run from Gray. It's headed away by the retreating Justin, and Ricardo Pereira is
been brilliant. Pereira been absolutely brilliant, whether it's in that right back area or centrally. He's been absolutely fantastic. Yeah,
came into a more central area there from inverse full back, and has, as Lucy says, been brilliant all night. Fatu, who's been pretty tidy as well, he's trying to take on Byram, but he can't beat him.
The question now for both teams is, can you be incisive? Can you penetrate the opposition? You know, can you get in an area where you get someone in front of goal? Don't be happy with just controlling the game. And I know Maresca wants his team to be patient, all the time be patient, and just wait for the goal to appear.
James to Somerville. It is a tactic that from Enzo Maresca, which has worked pretty effectively this season. Somerville driving it in here, and Ricardo Pereira on the slide, forced to concede the first corner of the second half, and it's Leeds' fourth corner of the game.
Certainly gone toe-to-toe, Jim, these two teams. You know, they don't look like they've got any pressure on. Neither team got pressure on. They've just come here just to try to win a game, whether it's the home team or the away team. And I think Leeds slightly better, although Leicester came back into it in the first half, and it's who can make the difference in the second.
And the other FA Cup tie tonight, Barnsley, who were 2-1 down at home to Horsham at one stage, now lead 3-2. This 0-0 with 6 gone in the second half. Leeds with the corner in towards the near post. Disappointing delivery. Now it's a very comfortable header away from Vardy. Straight out for a throw that'll be taken about 15 yards from the corner flag, something like that. Ball in the hands of Byram. Spins it on the palm of his hand, the yellow ball, throws it in towards Glenn Kamara. Byram out round the corner by Ruta. Leicester get it away through Casadei. Then play back forward through the midfield. Another opportunity for Leeds to be able to bring it forward. Ruta and James linking up. James, first touch wasn't great. Second was a slide challenge to retain possession. Leicester get it away, but just into the vacant part of the Leeds half. And Joe Rodon's got all the time in the world to run round that and get Leeds back on the front foot again. He passes it to his left for his fellow centre-half and captain, Pascal Strapp. Now Ruta down towards Somerville. Somerville with a great first touch away from Ricardo Pereira. James back to the edge of the area. Jean Peru, good save. And it'll be beaten away by Hermansen. And towards Gray. Gray right hand side of the penalty area. First attempt at delivering across is blocked. Second one is worked in towards Ruta. Vestergaard, ball clearance from him. Left-footed effort, then blocked by the big Dane at the heart of the Leicester defence from Dan James's effort. Leeds win it back again. Ruta's got it. 10 yards from the corner flag. It's got James in support. Nobody's marking him. He hasn't been able to pick him out. Does go back to the edge of the area for Ampadu. Ampadu for Kamara. Leeds fans encouraged by what they're seeing. Now the Leicester fans a little bit concerned this passage of play. Ruta on the edge of the area. Didn't get hold of it. It's a shot on target. Hermansen can make a comfortable save, but that was a really good move. Yeah, it was a good move, and they popped the ball about Leeds on the edge of the area really, really well, just to open up the space, but it lands at Peru again. He had the best chance of the first half for Leeds, the best chance of the second. He just took it early, not much backlift, and just tried to curl the ball round Hermansen, and the goalkeeper was equal to it. And again, you're just showing how well Leicester have defended this season. This is a great example, this game. Goalkeeper, the back four defend well. In fact, they defend well as a team, and Leeds have just got to try and find the answer to this really strong defensive block of Leicester's. Just that the half and half splits are interesting as far as Leicester are concerned. It's all about the fact that they haven't conceded a goal from this point on in a single game this season. First half, scored 12, conceded 6. Second half, which just underlines the point you make about the way that they grind signs down. They've scored 17 and conceded 2. Yeah,
Maresca is all about control, right? Whether you control it against a better team, which there's not many in the Championship, out of possession, or whether you control it by having the ball. Leicester have had the ball for the majority of every single one of the games, whether it's against a low block or whether it's against a team who tries to press them. And that's what and then basically you just grind teams down, you wear them out, and that's how they've won games. That is why they look so relaxed and patient, and they're not edging to get that first goal.
Well, so far tonight they've only had 39% of the ball. As you're saying, every other game they played this season, they've had the majority of possession, and it's often been in the mid-70s, Manchester City style. But tonight Leeds have made good on their promise to take the game to them. Justin gets it away for Leicester, headed down by Rodon on halfway. Gray wins a throw off Mavadidi.
I just want to see, though, Jay, I want to see them get the ball quickly, Leicester, and then just let Jamie Vardy go. Just let him go in the channels. And if you do that, then Leeds have got a problem in terms of how they're going to defend against that. He's not had the service to stretch, and that is exactly what he's good at.
So Leeds throw on their right into the feet of James. James can turn away and then clip one looking for Somerville. Couldn't get it high enough over the head of Ricardo Pereira. Casadei fouled in the centre of midfield. as he hit a lofty ball down towards Fatawu. That'll be a free kick which will be taken by Leicester City and taken quickly by Ricardo Pereira. A little bit of action on the benches, and I don't think it's going to be too long before the packs are rotated. We're 10 minutes into the second half. You'll TalkSport 2, and it remains 0. And a reminder, 2 live Premier League games for you tomorrow. Fulham against Manchester United over on TalkSport, a 12:30 kickoff. And Manchester City Bournemouth kicks off at 3 here on TalkSport 2 as Somerville brings it forward again. There's another piece of last-ditch defending. Justin this time coming across and taking low fives of congratulations from his teammates as he shoveled the ball away from Ruta in the nick of time.
I'll tell you what, brilliant defending again by Leicester. They are comfortable with the defenders in duels, whether it's outside of the box or inside of the box. But what I would say about Leeds is they get the ball in such good areas and they don't look threatening. They do look threatening, but they don't look like they're going to score a goal.
Somerville taking the corner short, getting it back from Kamara. It's back for Kamara again to the edge of the area. James lets fly. That'll be another corner. Blocked by Fatawu as he came across and got a foot in on the edge of the D. 3 corners in the first half for Leeds, 3 already in the second. And Jan James will go across to take this latest one.
Yeah, I just wonder whether a mistake will lead to a goal in this game, because they've pitted that they've gone toe to toe with each other. They're trying to win the game, both teams in their own individual way.
Ruta waiting on the edge of the 6. Byram is in there as well, jockeying for position. Peru trying to get free. It's headed down, brilliantly saved, but tapped in on the follow-up. Jorginho Ruta. Leeds United lead at Leicester by a goal to 0. Wonderful set-piece delivery. And the league leaders, whose record has been nigh perfect over the course of the season, are struggling and trailing. Jorginho Ruta, who's hardly scored a goal as a Leeds United player, has picked his moment and picked his spot.
Brilliant set piece from Leeds. Good header. I mean, really, if he'd have missed that, then he shouldn't be on a football pitch. It was right in front of him. It was a great little header. I think it was Sam Byram, and then the ball came off the goalkeeper and lands at Ruta's feet, right in front of goal. That's the sort. When you're not really a goal scorer and you haven't been scoring, that's exactly where you want the ball. All he had to do was side foot. The goalkeeper made a good save from Byram. Lands at Ruta's foot. He couldn't miss, and he really couldn't miss. But that is fantastic for his confidence.
Yeah, I think your internet Ruta would have scored that one, but it was put in from close range. His 3rd goal in Leeds United colours in 28 games, but it is a big goal.
Listen, my mum could have scored that, but it doesn't matter, because it's about the quality of the set piece and the fact that Leeds have come out in the second half and attacked Leicester once again.
Leicester made a change in the immediate aftermath of that. Vardy off, and Kelechi Iheanacho has come on to replace him. It's Leicester 0, Leeds 1. The first goal that Leicester have conceded here at home in 493 minutes of play. 8 hours and 13 minutes. A run of 2 months to the day.
I tell you what, Vardy looked really frustrated on the bench, and I don't blame him. But there is no point in playing a 9 like him if you're not going to service, if you're not going to give him it to stretch. You may as well play a false 9 and have a little bit of overloaded central areas when he drops. He's not there to drop. He's there to stretch and push defences back, and he needs to make a difference now. Iheanacho.
Meslier clips the ball forward, and he finds his way through for James. James in towards Ruta. James will try to take it on fast, though can knock it away. His clearance seized upon by Ampadu in the midfield. Ampadu with a slightly misdirected ball played down to the Leeds United left for Chris Somerville, who scored 5 goals in his last 5 games, couple of braces in that run. There's the Leeds fans that you can hear over on the far side from us, delighted with this performance. It would take them up to 28 points and move them 6 behind Ipswich if they can hold on, and it is a big if.
Yeah, Leicester need to come out now, and that's it. I mean, Leeds will probably still keep playing the way that they do play, but they've got a lead to protect now. Leicester have to do something. They have to be more incisive, more penetrating with the passes forward. Dewsbury Hall, who's been incredible this season, has hardly been in this game. He needs to make those runs beyond in that inside channel, and what he haven't really done in the first half.
Well, Leicester have conceded the first goal in 3 separate games over the course of the season. The one that they lost to Hull also. Here against Coventry, where they came back with 2 late goals to win 2-1. And then at Swansea, where they came back from a goal down to win 3-1. So they've got to come from behind and do it the hard way again. Somerville is onside as he picks the ball up. Everybody had stopped for a moment. Leicester getting their shape back behind the ball. James has got it. Byram made a good run to his left. James couldn't quite play the pass in time and plays a more conservative ball back through the midfield for Glenn Kamara. 1-0 to Leeds. Jorginho Ruta scoring after 58 minutes here in the East Midlands, and the side third in the table lead the runaway leaders.
Yeah, I talked in the first half about regains of possession being really important in this game, and it turns out a set piece is the first goal, but I do think that Leeds have wobbled Leicester by, when they do win the ball back, they put them under pressure, they press high, and then what they do with the ball afterwards puts Leicester under pressure, and they haven't really coped with that, and they've not really put Leeds under pressure other than keeping the ball at times high up the pitch. They just need more than keeping the ball now, particularly now they're 1-0 down.
Throw taken over on the Leeds United right by Gray. Back for Roden. He'll find his goalkeeper, Ilan Melier. Let me remind you that Ali McCoy and Ali Townsend will be with you for breakfast on Monday morning over on TalkSport, and the guests will include the former England and Spurs manager Glenn Hoddle, ahead of our live coverage of Tottenham's game on Monday night, and also Nottingham Forest fan, England cricket legend Stuart Broad. Both guesting with Ali and Andy on TalkSport breakfast from 6 on Monday morning. Kelechi Iheanacho dropping deep in the midfield, giving it away though under pressure. Kamara picking it up. There's a Leeds player down. Play will go on. I think it's Ampadu that's down. There's James working into the feet on the edge of the penalty area and almost getting a return ball from Ruta. Ampadu is still down, in need of treatment. It's not up to Leicester to stop play. Leeds didn't. There's no obligation for Leicester to. Roden will put the ball out of play, and now Ampadu can receive whatever treatment is necessary, but he's stayed down injured and he's not quite motionless, but clearly in some distress. This might be a bad one. Yeah,
I think it was his ankle. I think he went over on his ankle in that he got a kick and then it just made him go over on his ankle. Hopefully it's not too serious for him, because he's an important part of what Leeds do. He just tried to nick the ball away from Iheanacho before Iheanacho just passed the ball and just made him go over on his ankle. He's not got up yet though.
Started all 17 games that Leeds United have had this season, or played in all 17, should I say. The only other ever present in the team is Pascal Struijk, the Leeds United captain. Ampadu still receiving treatment. They're just very gingerly moving his right foot. It's that ankle that is affected. But Leeds United have the lead. We're just getting another look at the goal. It was a brilliant delivery from James, and nobody had picked up the run of Sam Byram, who started from the penalty spot, made a run across Casadei. The ball beat Dewsbury Hall. It was all about the quality of delivery, really. The run was good as well. Goalkeeper did well, it was an instinctive save, but Ruta just in the right place, could not miss.
Yeah, and I think because Ruta is, I think he's done all right when he's not scored, and he's not scored that many. And what you need when you've got a player playing well, other than scoring, is to have an opportunity like that where you really cannot miss. You know, and I think it was made by the ball. It was made by the header of Sam Byram. I'm still not quite convinced about Ruta, but the Leeds fans seem to love him, and they watch him more than I do.
Well, Ampadu's okay. He's back on his feet. He's making his way down towards this near touchline, and he's going to be able to continue. Play will restart with a throw. Taken over on the Leicester left-hand side by James Justin. Roden had just put the ball out of play ordinarily in the course of the game, so no obligation for Leicester to return possession to Leeds. Here's Winks inside the centre circle. Leeds 20 minutes into the second half. Lead at Leicester by a goal to nil. Is it going to be only the second defeat of the season for Leicester? Only the second game this season they haven't won? Or will there be a dramatic turnaround here? Wout Faes has it at the back for the Foxes, finding Vestergaard. Ampadu now back onto the field. Leeds restored to their full complement of 11.
They're starting to look predictable in their attacking, Leicester, now, because they've got a lot of players in front of the ball. That can happen. Everything's in front of Leeds. Nobody's making any runs forward, and there's no real ball forward either, and that's what they need, either wide or in the inside channels.
So what have Leicester, or what have Leeds been able to do defensively, Lucy, in this second half to stop the supply out towards Fatawu particularly, and also to a lesser extent to Mavididi?
They just work so hard, Jim. They work so hard in the press, and it's usually high up the pitch. When they get back into to sort of a mid-block, then they stop central, and Leicester haven't worked it out. Get the ball wide quickly and then make the runs beyond. That's when Dewsbury Hall springs between the centre-back and the full-back. And Leicester just haven't been able to do it. Probably a lot to do with the way that Leeds have defended.
Hamza Chowdhury's coming on in a moment for Leicester. As Casadei has the ball. It'll be interesting to see whether he might be the player coming off. Indeed, it is his number that is up. Casadei off and Chowdhury on. Chowdhury has been playing at fullback for Leicester in each of his last 3 league starts. A couple of games at right back, 1 at left back. But will come on here, you would imagine, into his more customary midfield position.
Yeah, can Leicester unlock, whether it's with a run or a good ball forward? You've got Iheanacho, who's basically playing as a false 9. He's not up against Leeds, so that means they don't feel any sort of pressure, the centre-backs, and they're quite happy because they're 1-0 up. So it's about Leicester just trying to find the answers.
Kenny Dewsbury Hall able to bring the ball forward here for the Foxes towards the edge of the Leeds United box. Now out towards Mavididi. Mavididi taking it to the corner of the penalty area, laying it off for Winks, who has scored a long overdue but spectacular goal against Queen's Park Rangers. Here's Harry Winks again, after a little bit of interplay between him and Iheanacho around the edge of the penalty area. Fatawu back for Faes. Vestergaard to Dewsbury Hall. Keenan Dewsbury Hall, local boy. Plays it out towards the left-hand side for James Justin. Back it comes for Faes. Faes to Chowdhury, and instantly he goes back. Iheanacho waiting in a central position on the edge of the D. Ricardo Pereira is forward in a more advanced role as well now. Somerville does well defensively, comes back and intercepts a Chowdhury pass intended for Fatawu, and he goes out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Leicester right. We're midway through the second half, Lucy.
Yeah.
And here on TalkSport 2, Leeds still lead it.
So that they're not putting the ball at risk enough, Leicester, in the final third. So the pass that Chowdhury tried to make inside for the run for Fatawu, that's the sort of ball that they need. They need to put the ball at risk. They need to put the ball forwards for runners, and they're not doing that. They're just playing safe.
Fatawu's got it. Somerville knocks it away from him. Out of play for a throw. And Leicester making good progress territorially down this near touchline. They are in a position that they seldom find themselves in. Conceding a goal in the second half of a game and trailing at this stage of a game, which has only happened once all season, or twice all season, should I say. Now goes out towards Mavididi. Mavididi on the left-hand side of the box. Plays it back for Harry Winks. Winks looks up, turns back inside, laying it out to the left. Leicester trying to bring it forward. Dewsbury Hall, a little toe in, and then goalkeeper came out. Roden dealt with it in front of him and did well for his side there. A little collision between the two. And Mavididi just acts as the conductor of the choir at the one end of the KP for a moment.
Yeah, great example. What I mean by putting the ball at risk, getting in behind by quick 1 and 2 touch passes. Nearly fell for Leicester. They did well to come out.
Fast for Chowdhury and for Winks, and now back for Wout Faes again. And he comes towards Fatawu. Faes making his way forward. Ruta, the goal scorer, back in defensive duty. Byram sliding in with a well-timed challenge, puts it out of play for Leicester's first corner of the second half. It's only the second of the game.
It's better as well, though, Jim, isn't it? That Faes just putting the ball in behind to run on. It had to be a stretch by Sam Byram to put it out for a corner, but it's all a little bit easy-ozy as far as Leicester are concerned.
Dewsbury Hall's going to take this. He raises his right arm above his head. Give the signal to his teammates. Chowdhury unmarked on the edge of the penalty area. He's fired in towards the edge of the 6, looking for a Vestergaard flick. Faes couldn't get on the end of that. It's cleared out for Winks. Winks taking it down towards the left-hand touchline. The league leaders behind here. Dewsbury Hall. Flick with his right foot down towards Fatawu again. Fatawu back towards Dewsbury Hall. Left-footed ball, almost perfect for Mavadini, but read by Gray, who can knock it away. And now Leeds will be able to regain possession and play out from the back. And just going back to that point you were making about the low tariff nature of a lot of what Leicester are trying to achieve here. Is that because of the way that Leeds are defending and the quality of their defending? Or is it because they know that Leeds are so good from high turnovers that they don't dare lose it? They've got to play safe a little bit more because they can't take the risks in this game that they ordinarily can. Yeah, so it'll either be 1-1 or 2-0, and that's what they need to be wary of. So the rest defence are where they are when they've got it, but they're high up the pitch where the position Leicester just... Now the ball is chipped inside the penalty area and is volleyed left-footed over the bar. And we welcome listeners from TalkSport with the news that Leeds lead here by a goal to nil. Leicester, one of only 7 teams in English league history to win 13 of the first 14 games, but they've got work to do if they're going to make that 13 out of 15. Jorginho Ruta has scored only 2 goals before tonight in 27 Leeds appearances, but he was in the right place at the right time to tap home after a Sam Byram header from a brilliant Dan James corner was initially saved, palmed away by Hermansen, and the goalkeeper could do nothing about the follow-up from Jorginho Ruta to tap it in. And Leeds have played very well. The game plan has been perfectly executed, and Leicester, the league leaders, the runaway leaders, have some significant problems. Lucy Ward, the former Leeds United striker, alongside me. Leeds, good value for this. They've had the majority of possession, and Leicester have got 18 minutes to try and salvage something. Yeah, absolutely. I think Leeds have been brilliant. They started the first half and second half out the same. Got a goal in the second half. Leicester just starting to come back into it now. Now Fatawu driving in across out towards Mavadini on the Leicester City left. He's got James Justin in support. Leicester have made a change. They brought Iheanacho on for Vardy. And Iheanacho yet to have an opportunity worthy of the name, but he has the ball on the edge of the penalty area now, turning one way and then the other, and then neatly laying it back for Hamza Chowdhury, who's also come off the bench. Another opportunity for Fatawu, who will take it on the right-hand side of the box. He excelled in the first half and hit the bar, but has been quietened in this second period. Iheanacho with an effort that he's blocked, and Chowdhury will lay it back for Fars. Leicester will try and build again from a deeper position. You got the TalkSport app. You can easily swipe between TalkSport and TalkSport 2 to keep abreast of all of the live coverage. Leicester have a corner. Our live commentary continues over on TalkSport 2. Got 17 minutes to go. It's Leicester 0, Leeds United 1. So the effective players for Leicester this season have been Dewsbury Hall and Harry Winks, and they are only just now starting to have an effect on the game, and that's just moving the game in Leicester's favour. So this corner is going to be taken on the Leicester left. Vestergaard trying to make a darting run, peels away into a deeper position. Justin goes up for it, cleared by Ampadu. Down for Fatawu, good first touch, flicking it back in. A little bit of pinball in round the edge of the 6-yard box, and Leeds can get it away. Kamara, Somerville, great feet from him, and Leeds on the counter-attack have got a break. It's Archie Gray making his way forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Left-footed effort, saved by the diving Hermansen to deny Dan James. It was a really good counter-attack. They should have made more of it. Yeah, that's what you were talking about, Jim, about Leicester putting themselves up the pitch, and that's the risk. Leeds getting themselves on the counter and scoring another. Now Gray has kept the ball in and won it back on the right-hand touchline when Leicester fans who had a good view thought it had gone out. And Leeds bring it forward 20 yards and then win a free kick. Yeah, Fatawu, he should have scored. I mean, he had the ball, and it was on his right foot, and he wanted to get it on his left foot, and then all of a sudden Leeds can get themselves up the pitch. But again, this is it. Leeds have got themselves 1-0 in front. If they'd have scored, then the game absolutely out of sight for Leicester, and it's about moments now. Can they keep hold of this 1-0 lead? But they will rely on the pace that they've got going forward, particularly the likes of Dan James and Somerville. But they'll be happy 1-0 up. So James stands over this free kick. Now the ball has been spotted down 15 yards outside the penalty area. It's right of centre, right at the limit of range for a shot. There's only 2 in the wall, but he's got 5 6-footers, 6 6-footers around the edge of the penalty area to try and clip one into here. And that's the route that he's taken. Looking for Byram. It's come off the head of Ricardo Pereira. He's claiming there was no touch. Referee agrees, actually. No complaints from Byram. It's a goal kick which will be taken by Hermansen. With 15 to go, it's 1-0 Leeds. Yeah, last 15. I think that Leicester will be happy with the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes. But
I think that's a warning, isn't it? That when you're right up the pitch, you have a chance on goal, and then all of a sudden, within 2 passes and 5 seconds, Leeds are right up the pitch, and they could have scored a second. And I just think Leicester, they're showing some signs that they can be a little bit more clinical. They can have a little bit more quality in front of goal, but at the moment it just doesn't look enough, and Leeds look like they're going to be comfortable.
Harry Winks has made an excellent run through the middle, and his goalkeeper's picked him out. Winks' control wasn't perfect. Strout knocks it away. But Ricardo Pereira, seeing the ball in much more advanced areas now, feeds it out towards Fatawu. Back for Winks again. Winks 10 yards outside the box. 14 to go, Leicester 0, Leeds 1. Winks flicked forward. Leeds with everybody apart from Ruta, and Somerville now back behind the ball. Dewsbury Hall in around the edge of the D. Iheanacho struggled really to get to the pace of the game since coming on, and his control let him down there. Peru slightly off target, lays it to his left-hand side where it's spun over the top for Somerville's run. He couldn't quite bring the ball down. It's ended up going out of play for a Leicester throw. Slightly better ball forward there for the pace of Somerville, and Leicester in all kinds of bother.
Yeah, that's always on now, particularly now that Leicester have had to come out because they want to get the equaliser. They're taking more risks, they're pushing more players forward, and those areas are there to be exploited by Leeds.
Fatawu has it, running towards the edge of the penalty area. You sense that there's plenty more drama left in this.
Do you know what it looks like? It looks like they've had loads of possession this season, and then they're quite happy just having the possession, but they need something more, Leicester, against Leeds, because Leeds are defending really, really aggressively. They press well. You're not got a second on the ball once you get into the final third, when they've set up really well in their little defensive shape in their own half, and so they're going to have to do something special, Leicester.
Fatawu helping it in high, and Gray got a shout from his goalkeeper to leave it, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. I think a few thought that might just have clipped the toes of Archie Gray's boot on its way through. There's a goal kick that Meslier will take away to the right. Just having a look at the benches in terms of options. Patson Daka, an attacking option on the bench for Leicester, but very much the lesser spotted Patson Daka these days. He's only seen 2 minutes of league action this season. They've also got Wanya Marçal, Casey McAteer, who had a bright start of the campaign. All Brighton. And then defenders Cody and Suter. The Leeds bench hasn't been used at all as yet. It's Ayling, Firpo, Cooper, Bamford, Anthony, Poveda, Nyonto, Gruez and Darlow. It was just coming together around the edge of the penalty area there, and the referee has gone across and had a word, just trying to calm things down. It was Joel Peru, the Leeds player, that he was speaking to. It is a Leeds free kick. Slightly frustrated reaction from Peru, who thought that he'd been caught.
Yeah, there's a difference between defending when it's at 0-0 and defending when you've got the lead, particularly away from home. So, it's going to be, like I said, something special that Leicester will have to produce to, and they are capable of it. Don't get me wrong. It's just they haven't looked like it in this game so far.
Well, there's very calm defending at the back from Leicester to be able to play their way out of a potential spot of bother. Fars and his goalkeeper just on the same wavelength and neatly passed the ball to safety. But Leicester are running out of time. 11 minutes to go, and they still haven't had a single shot on target tonight. But
they've had a lot of good play. But you don't win football games by keeping possession and having control in the opposition half. At some point, again, I keep saying it, they put the ball at risk, get beyond, make those runs in that inside channel, get players on the ball that can create and pass forward. And at the moment, they're just getting frustrated. The crowd's getting frustrated.
Somerville finding Glenn Kamara. He couldn't find Ruta. Fast, knocking it away from the edge of the penalty area. Ricardo Pereira again able to bring the ball forward, and Ricardo to Fatawu coming in off the right flank. Fatawu looking all the time to get it onto his left foot and spin a ball towards the edge of the penalty area. This time he finds Mavididi. Dewsbury Hall will bring it forward. Iheanacho tries to play in the return pass. It's put out of play by the off-balance James, and the curve on the ball sees it go just the right side of the corner flag as far as Leicester are concerned, both literally and physically. And he goes out of play for a corner, which is taken quickly, swung in deep, and Fast was going up for it, and it was just nodded away off his head and out of play for another corner. Good defending, Roden.
Yeah, short corner taken, and just Leeds weren't set in the middle, and Can Leicester take advantage of a set piece just like Leeds did to get their goal?
10 to go. Leicester 0, Leeds 1 here on TalkSport 2. And the corner is swung in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, looking for Fast again. It's headed clear and bounces on the edge of the penalty area. Kamara will be able to hook it away. Leicester with Winks working back inside their own half. The goalkeeper's only 20 yards inside his own half and comes out and sweeps up, plays it back towards Winks, and Leicester will be able to get going again. Leeds are going to be bringing Pat Bamford on at the next break in play.
Tell you what, Leeds have defended well. At times they've been full tilt. You know, when Leicester have got those 1 and 2 touches on the edge of the area and got in behind, you know, they've managed to just put it out for a corner, so they've done well, but I really don't think they've been tested enough by Leicester yet.
Now Bamford's coming on. The Bulgarian midfielder Ilya Gruev is going to be coming on as well. Kamara winning it back after Leicester felt that should have been a free kick. And Leeds can work it out towards the right-hand side where Ruta, the goal scorer, brings it forward towards the edge of the penalty area and then goes down, and the referee unceremoniously waves him up. Vestergaard is angry. He felt that was a dive from Ruta and that there should be a sanction from the referee. There might yet be the next break in play, but Leicester on the counter-attack. They'll be hoping to make it 1-1. Fatu bringing it forward to his left-hand side for Ricardo Pereira. Ricardo Pereira into the feet of Justin, went for the return ball, might just have brushed off a hand on the way through, but I think he was ball to hand with the arm in a natural position. Stroud survives that, and Leeds get it away.
So even when Leeds are out of shape and Leicester, they don't move it quick enough. They had chance then to move it as quick as Leeds do, and they just didn't do it. And then by the time that they're trying to set each other up on the edge of the area, when they should have had a shot, Leeds are back in and defending.
Vestergaard falling to the feet of Iheanacho. And again, in this kind of situation that we're seeing now, play slowing down, not being played at a great tempo, and it just makes it easy for Leeds to keep their shape and get back behind the ball.
Absolutely, Jim. They're set at the moment. Most of the time tonight, everything's been in front of the Leeds defence. Everything.
Vestergaard's got a great range of passing, and he shows it there. He's played it out towards Fatu with a left-footed in-swinging delivery that comes off Byram. It's headed back by Justin and volleyed clear by Ampadu. Out towards the right-hand touchline where Ruta will pick it up. Winks stops him getting it forward, and then Winks with a brilliantly timed challenge. I think he's really unlucky that a free kick has been given against him there.
Do you know, the referee has given some fouls and not given fouls when you expect him to, and then given fouls. I mean, that was a coming together. You can see the crowd's reaction. Ruta's obviously going to make the most of it, and he gets hold of the ball, but he basically was a little bit sloppy, and it was one. No, I'm not sure. I just think that's happened too often from the referees for both teams, not just for Leeds.
So double change for Leeds. Peru coming off, and Bamford is going to come on to replace him. Pat Bamford, who scored in Leeds' last win here back in 2021, hasn't started a game all season. And he'll come off the bench for his 7th appearance of the campaign. And the other change will see Ruta replaced by Gruev. So it's going to be a slight change of shape. And they play Bamford up top through the middle on his own, and Gruev plays a little bit deeper. And so it's just an extra body in the midfield by the look of it. Gruev, who signed from Werder Bremen back in August, just made the one start since, which was in the defeat at Stoke. Well, this has been a Leeds performance much better than that one in their last away game. They lost their 1-0. They're winning 1-0 away to the leaders tonight with 6 minutes to go here on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, Ruta's just walking past the Leeds fans. I think they're really pleased that he's got himself a goal. Quite a simple tap-in, but that's what you need when you're not really scoring, doing everything else but score. I think Leicester fans are just throwing things at him in the nicest possible way.
Kamara. Gruev is in there with Ricardo Pereira, who's fouled him. It was a wonderful Remembrance Day tribute before the game where the fans held up bits of paper, white bits of paper and red bits of paper. The problem is they've then got white and red bits of paper that you can screw up into a ball, and when you've got an opposition player walking past you along the blue track, the better shots just give Ruta a bit of a run for his money. It's like a coconut shy as he's making his way back. But he's okay. Here's Chowdhury. The ball chipped down towards Fatu. 5 minutes to go. Leicester looking for at least an equaliser. Have it inside the penalty area. Step back for Iheanacho. Left-footed effort might not have been on target. It hit Roden and then goes out of play for a corner. Leicester trying to turn the screw, take the corner quickly before Leeds can set. Work back by Dewsbury Hall for Winks. Keenan Dewsbury Hall driving it in, looking for Fast, but he can't find him. Chowdhury knows that he's in a foot race against Somerville, and he knows that he's likely to lose it. He's come back, and that is an immaculate challenge. That is a goal-saving challenge, potentially, from Hamza Chowdhury.
Brilliant. Chowdhury, he wasn't going to win that foot race, but he made sure he timed the tackle really well.
And Somerville has stayed down, but it was an exceptional piece of defending from Chowdhury. And then Archie Gray again showing his immense footballing intelligence, playing at right back, but just sensed that Byron was out of position for a moment and came across and covered in at left back to stop Fatu being able to break with 4 minutes plus stoppage time away from a famous Leeds win here. Still time though for Leicester. Yeah,
Somerville's gone down. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with him, but that's what you will do away from home after 86 minutes and you're winning 1-0. You just need to make sure you disrupt things.
Well, a Leicester victory tonight would have taken them 17 points clear of third place Leeds. As it is, Leeds will be within 11 points of Leicester if it stays this way. That'll be a good result for Ipswich as well, who would, if they won their 2 games in hand, actually go above Leicester for all the fact that Leicester have had such an impressive start. And Ipswich, 34 points with the game in hand at the start of the night, be 5 points adrift of Leicester with 2 games in hand. But the second of those games is at Rotherham. It's on Tuesday. Leicester fans might well be cheering the Millers on for that. It's live on TalkSport 2. The ball is with Somerville, who is, as Lucy predicted, okay. Here's Fatu bringing it for Somerville and Chowdhury squaring up to each other. Now, not even Eddie Hearn sanctions that. Chowdhury, the much taller man. Somerville was the aggressor. And players from both sides come in and just will try and calm things down. But Somerville might be in trouble here. I don't know that Chowdhury did an awful lot wrong. He stood his ground, nothing more.
Yeah, the assistant referee saw it right in front of the assistant referee. I didn't see any of it, but obviously he's having a chat. Well, I could hear the assistant referee, the referee. Look, he's got a yellow card out. I don't think it's going to be anything worse than that, but it does look like Somerville was the one who perhaps started that. Chowdhury wasn't going to stand down.
Well, that was a hangover from the earlier brilliant Chowdhury challenge that denied Somerville on the counter-attack. And he clearly felt, Chris Somerville, that there was more to it than was necessary. Not even a foul was given. Chowdhury is now being called over. Is he going to get booked as well? If he is, I think he's
can't believe
on the strength of what we saw real time. Not seen a replay, but real time, it didn't look as though he did anything wrong, and he has been booked.
Yeah, they're showing a replay now, and he just tried to tackle Somerville, got hold of Somerville. It's very difficult to see. The TV replays really can't get the right replay, but yeah, and then he ended up pushing Chowdhury over. You can't really see why maybe a yellow card each, but he actually threw Chowdhury to the floor.
Yeah, I think the arms were around Somerville from Chowdhury. He's still protesting his innocence with the referee. Somerville's going to play no further part. He's coming off, and Willie Gnonto is going to come on to replace him. Gnonto, who's only scored 1 goal so far this season, but it was a big one at Ipswich back in August, the youngest ever scorer for the Italian national team, and he comes on for a minute plus stoppage time, and I don't know, best guess 5 maybe to be added on. We'll find out soon enough. Vestergaard's going to chip the ball over the top here for Fatu. Too much on that.
Yeah.
And Maresca, the coach, just tells his team, calm down, there is still time.
Yeah, I've actually been disappointed with Leicester in the final third. I think that they've not made good decisions. And obviously the more the game's gone away from them and Leeds get the goal from a set piece, the more that they've forced play or they've not made the right decision, and Leeds have defended well and they'll be quite happy. Absolutely, so far, perfect away performance.
11 attempts to 8 in Leeds' favour. 6 shots on goal tonight, and Leeds have had them all, and that really speaks volumes. Yeah. FA Cup, incidentally, a belting tie at Oakwell. Barnsley 3, Horsham 3 was how that one finished. And Walsall are through safely enough. They've won 4-1 at Sheppey United as we go into 6 additional minutes at the end of this game. Leicester 0, Leeds 1. Gray's gone down injured for Leeds. Ball played for by Bamford. Chowdhury comes back, heads it away. Offside flags up. Gray is down, trying to get back to his feet so that he's in position to defend this free kick. Now he goes down again. Ampadu is standing by him and trying to attract the referee's attention. Glenn Kamara does that by physically grabbing hold of the ref and pointing to his stricken teammate just to show that Gray is in need of a little bit of treatment. And it may well be that Leeds are going to have to make a change. Certainly somebody is being called back. The Leeds bench looked very animated for a moment, and potentially Gray's race is run. Yeah, you just want to waste more time if you Leeds, because it's a really important statement. 3 points if they can hang on. Luke Ayling's getting ready. Chowdhury. Gray continues for now. Vestergaard's got it. So probably still 5.5 minutes of stoppage time to go here at Leicester, where the league leaders trail 1-0. Glenn Kamara played forward to the right-hand side. Dan James will pick it up. James turning past one challenge and then a second. Bring it through the midfield. Kamara to Ampadu. Ampadu's got Gray to his right-hand side. Ayling will be coming on. Jaden Anthony's going to be coming on as well. Bamford senses he's offside, but he isn't, as he controls the ball down on the touchline. The flag stays down, and Bamford will take it down towards the corner flag and just try and delay. Didn't manage it for long. Dewsbury Hall helps Leicester bring it away. Harry Winks has got it. At least 4 minutes of stoppage time still to play. Probably nearer 5. Fatawu for Leicester, who trail 1-0. Long curving ball, but that was hit and hope, nothing more than that. And Gray still fresh enough to be able to shepherd that over the line, and out of play for a goal kick which Meslier will take, and Leeds will make their double substitution just to try and disrupt the flow of the game. Yeah, Leicester need to pull something completely out of the bag here, because they're just absolutely running out of ideas of what to do. I think that it just looks like Leeds have done a job on them. That's that Anthony for James as the first Leeds change. And is it also going to be Ayling for Gray rather than Grayling for A? I find Ayling's a better player than Grayling, to be honest with you. So Gray comes off, and Luke Ayling is going to come on to replace him. I would have got away with that had it not been for Adrian's laugh, by the way. Well, I was laughing as well. Sorry, Jim. 3 minutes of stoppage time to go. Leicester 0, Leeds 1. So Luke Ayling coming on. Ayling, who has played in all but one of the games this season, but has come off the bench almost as many times as he started. Great servant for Leeds, and more than 260 games for the club behind him. And this will be a win that will give them an immense amount of satisfaction if they can hold on. It is still an if against this Leicester City side, but I think we can safely say now that it isn't going to be a club record 10 straight league wins for the Foxes, and they're not going to be the first side since Bristol City in 1904 to win 14 of their first 15 league games. In the second tier, Vestergaard to his left-hand side for James Justin. Leicester still inside their own half at the moment. Vestergaard working it forward. Still not a great pace or tempo about them. Now they'll try and pick it up. Ricardo Pereira out towards Fatawu. 4 inside the penalty area. It's got past Nyonto. He chips it up towards the far post. Header! What a save! That is stunning goalkeeping from Meslier. Keenan Dewsbury Hall with a header. And Mellier's produced one of the saves of the season to beat it away before it went into the top left-hand corner. Goes out for a corner. They've taken it quickly. Nyonto stops them doing anything constructive with it. And on the right-hand touchline, he'll play it forward for Anthony. But Meslier has just protected 2 points. Yeah. Meslier just won the game for him there. Terrific save from the young goalkeeper. Got themselves in behind not many times. It's a great little header from Dewsbury Hall, and it's just a last-ditch scoop out of the top corner. It's a great little header from Dewsbury Hall, but really well done by Meslier. I mean, it's behind the Frenchman. He hasn't had a single attempt on target to deal with all night, but he produces one of the best saves of his career in the 95th minute to protect his clean sheet. Ayling was there to do the rest. Leeds haven't won it yet, but they're getting ever closer. Strout gets it forward. Bamford can't hold it up. Leicester bring it forward again with Fast. Remember, in the 6 minutes of stoppage time, we've seen a double change and an injury. So probably another 2 minutes to go yet. Fatu driving in inside the penalty area. And it's headed away by Jayden Anthony, the player on loan from Bournemouth, who moved up to Yorkshire's part of the Sinistera deal the other way. He's given a free kick away. And Leicester have a set piece and a chance to get an equalising goal.
Yeah, this just has to be a good ball into the box. And it's all Leicester. It's been all Leicester for quite a while, probably since Leeds scored, really. But they've puffed and got absolutely nowhere. But they've got an opportunity to swing the ball into the box and see whether they can get the equaliser.
It's going to be James Justin to deliver it. Dewsbury Hall waits on the edge of the D, trying to feign disinterest. Nobody's picking him up. Leeds in a line on the edge of the box. It's hitting far too deep. It's a shocking ball in under the circumstances. Massive cheer from the Leeds United supporters. That was Leicester's moment, and Justin just fluffed it.
Tell you what, that is indicative of everything Leicester tonight. Really, really poor ball when it needed to really challenge Leeds, and I think Leeds fully deserve their win that look like they're going to get. And just watching the Meslier save again and scooping it out, uses the post as well to get the ball away from his line and kept his team to 3 points.
Deep in the 7th minute of stoppage time, Meslier drives it forward. Can only find his opposite number, Hermansen. Played out by him. Daniel Farke wondering where the time is coming from, but it's perfectly justified. At least another minute is justifiable yet, I would think. Fast playing it forward. Iheanacho in behind him. Strauch heads it away. Kamara battling. Gruev has done well. Gets it away from Dewsbury Hall, and the full-time whistle blows. And Ethan Ampadu races over to Illan Meslier and hugs him because he knows the importance and significance of that save. This isn't a result that blows it for Leicester. Far from it. They're still in such a strong position, and I'm sure will end up being promoted. But this is a night that could make Leeds United's season. It's a victory away to the runaway leaders that will give them immense self-belief. Provided by Jorginho Rutta's goal. His third of the season, 13 minutes into the second half. A tap-in after a Sam Byram header was well saved by Hermansen. Leeds justifying the leads at that point and defended stoutly from there on in. Leicester, who'd won 13 out of 14, lost against Hull, and now they've lost at home to Leeds. The Leeds revival continues apace. It's finished Leicester 0, Leeds 1.